So, Coach, the podium is yours, and then we'll open it up for Q&A.
Okay. Always good to be with you. Just want to thank our conference's great commissioner, Jim Phillips, for his leadership and everything he does for us. And on behalf of SMU, it's great to represent our school and our program, our new president, Jay Hartzell, our athletics director, Damon Evans, David Miller, our board chair, and our entire board of trustees. Just excited to be here to represent them. First, just talking about SMU and our program, there's never been a better time to come to SMU. Back-to-back 11-win seasons, making the college football playoff. Season tickets last year was a school record, and we had a bunch of sellouts, the most in school history, and a record of attendance. And here we are, middle of July, and we've already surpassed by several thousand last year's season ticket sales. So just the excitement is great. The city of Dallas is embracing our program at an all-time high, and we're embracing them back. The alignment and the leadership from our president, our board, our alumni, all the way on down is just as good as it's ever been, and that's what's exciting about where we can go in the future. Recruiting's at an all-time high, and then this past spring we had a 2.95 team GPA, which was a team and school record for football. Kiana Smith and her team that work with our student athletes deserve a ton of credit for that. But really, the most exciting part about SMU and where we are is our players and our staff. We have an incredible staff. We have a lot of continuity, a lot of low-ego, high-output guys and girls on our staff that just deserve all the credit for the success we've had. We got some incredible student athletes here with us today. We got Kevin Jennings, we got Logan Parr, Isaiah Wacobia, and even Alex Kilgore representing our team. Man, they're a fun group to coach. The character they have, they're always giving back to our community. They're always thinking of others, and they make it a lot of fun to coach. So it's a great time to be at SMU, and we're excited about that. When it comes to the ACC, I think there's no question that our league has separated itself as one of the top three leagues in America. I mean, the data speaks for itself, whether it's the revenue generation that we did this past year. I know the commissioner spoke to. 3 leagues have a network. Our network, 5 years in, is thriving and does a great job covering us. 3 leagues had multiple CFP participants this year. We were one of them. And I think sometimes, I was fortunate to win a national championship in 2010 when I was at Auburn. And since then, over the last 14 seasons, one league's won 8 championships, and 2 other leagues, us and the Big Ten, have won 3 national championships. So, and another league hasn't won any. So I think that just shows you where our league has been on the national stage, and where we think we'll continue to be and where we belong. And on top of it, I know it's been talked about here, we have the toughest non-conference strength of schedule in all of college football. And we're going to partake in that this year as we play 2 really good teams from the Big 12 and Baylor and TCU that are both 9-win teams a year ago. When you start talking about the state of college football, I know there's a lot of questions that will probably come on that, a lot of change, a lot of transition. I do think the CSC and the revenue sharing situation has a chance to be a step in the right direction. It's obviously very new. I think the key to that will be, is there accountability and is it enforced? If it's strictly adhered to, I think it creates good consistency for college football, for coaches, for players, for administrations, and everyone. But that's the key. It's going to have to be held accountable. We still need massive congressional help in a lot of areas, from codifying that a little bit, but also, most importantly, in protecting our players from bad actors in the agency world. There's good agents out there, but all the agents need to be registered. We need to put a cap. I know it's being proposed on the agency commission so families and players aren't taken advantage of. We need standardized contracts and a lot of things that we need congressional help on so it's equal across all states. And then, I think we need to reimagine the college football playoff. It's at a time where I know that's being discussed. The players and the fans come first. That's what we're supposed to be about. I think more is always better. I know it's out there. I think 16 teams would be great. More access for more teams, more players, more conferences. The committee has a really hard decision. We were up close and personal with that a year ago, and I respect what they have to do. But honestly, it's it's a situation that's set up for failure because there's human bias, and there's always going to be. So I think if we could remove a committee from the situation, it would help, because there's no other major professional sport or major sport in America or the world that uses a committee to select their tournament participants. And you look in America, it's the NFL and it's college football. So I think we need to relook at that. And just imagine, I know our commissioner has been outspoken about this before as options of what we could do, not only in a championship game, but maybe in a 2 versus 3, a 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5 kind of scenario. Imagine if Championship Saturday every year, right after Thanksgiving, was your 4 Power 4 conference championship games, and you had a 3 versus 6 and a 4 versus 5 in every conference playing to try to get in a 16-team playoff. I mean, it would be like March Madness Thursday and Friday. It would be the best Saturday that college football could ever manufacture. So I think we need to reimagine and think outside the box a little bit instead of just going down the same path we've gone down before. And we got a great opportunity to do that, so I hope leadership will do that. And then the last thing I'll hit with is we got a good group here from SMU. Craig James is actually in the building with us. Craig James, Eric Dickerson, arguably one of the best duos and tandems all time in college football. And they started last year bringing back the Pony Express Award. And it's an award those two started to give to the best tandem, the best duo in college football. Last year, Shadur and Travis Hunter at Colorado won it. He's here to kind of talk more about that throughout the day and try to help spread the word of that. I think it's a great award because it recognizes a duo, teamwork. And it's an award by the players, for the players, be voted on by players, and this will be the second year and then bringing it back. So I wanted to shed some light and exposure on that. And then I'll just say this. I mean, I'm incredibly humbled to get to be the head coach at SMU. It's a dream of a lifetime. My wife, the real head coach, Rhett Lashlee's here. My 4 kiddos, 2 sets of twins at home. Hudson and Thomas, Rowan and Scarlett are probably watching right now, critiquing everything I do and don't do. So they'll have a full post-game report when I get home tonight. And then just to get to coach these guys and represent our university is really cool. So with that, I'm from Arkansas. I live in Texas. So whatever y'all want to do, let's do it.
That's great. Coach, your first 2 questions will come right in front of you. First row, down here on the edge, right by the center aisle. We'll let the gentleman in the gray suit first, and then his counterpart to his left.
Hey, Rhett, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Dan?
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. To speak on the expansion of the college football playoff, be it staying at 12, expanding to 14 or 16, why do you believe that the ACC should be a multi-bid? We got to see that with you in Clemson. Why should it continue to be a multi-bid conference?
Great question. Again, I don't think it's up for discussion. It should be 16. More is better. Now, I don't think you got to go crazy over that because it is football, but we saw last year what the playoff can do. On-campus games, fantastic. Everything it does for our game. More exposure, more access, creates more fan bases and more people involved in the season throughout the year, more conferences. When it comes to our league, it should be talked about more. It should be easy. I just shed some light on. I mean, there's only been 3 leagues win a national championship that have teams in their league right now since 1990. All the teams that have won a national championships in 1990 are either in the ACC, the SEC, or the Big Ten. Since I mentioned in the last 15 years, we're tied for the second most championships with 3 with the Big Ten. I don't know why that's not talked about more. We have national brands. We've won championships. The revenue is almost double who's fourth. We have our own network, the competition, the investment. I just think it speaks for itself. And so most people want to see things decided on the field, so let's let it happen that way. I don't think there's any question that if it stayed at 12, we're every year a multi-bid league. I mean, Miami should have been last year at 10-2. There's no question they were one of the top 12 teams in America. But it does get tough, and especially when you have a human committee making decisions. Again, it's a hard job. It's set up for failure. They're great people. They do the best they can. The NFL doesn't do that. NBA doesn't do that. High school football doesn't do that. FIFA World Cup. Let's take that out of it and let it be decided on the field with a different process, in my opinion. But when it comes to the ACC, I think the experience and the results speak for itself.
Coach, your next question right there next to him, front row.
Joe Bombo, Athlon Sports. Welcome to Charlotte, Coach. Well,
Thanks.
welcome back, let me say.
Yeah.
You were talking about tandems, and of course, you guys had 2 transfers come in Chris Johnson Jr. and T.J. Harden. What is the road that you see these guys taking next year on the field and the carries that they'll be splitting up?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, obviously we lost Brashard Smith to the Kansas City Chiefs, had almost 2,000 yards, set the school record with all-purpose last year. He was a big part of our success. So competition, healthy competition is a big part of what we do in our program, and that'll play out over the next 4 to 6 weeks, really. We feel like we have 4 really talented players at running back. Derek McFall returns for his true sophomore year. Similar style player to what Brashard is. He can catch the ball. He can run between the tackles. He's explosive. A year of experience. I think he's poised to have a good season for us. You mentioned Chris Johnson. Similar style player. Fast, explosive, can catch the ball, good in space. So those guys give you that versatility. TJ's coming over from UCLA where he led their school in rushing. He's a big back, physical, but he can run. He's got speed. And then we got a freshman in Jermecco Green that was an Army All-American, one of the highest recruited players to ever come to SMU. He's big, he's physical, he's explosive. So I think we got 4 guys, and I don't know. I don't know if there'll be a tandem, if one guy will raise the bar, if all 4 will have. But I feel like we have 4 really good options that all have different strengths that will help play within our offense.
Coach, right side, 4th row, hard right to the 4th row.
Hey, Coach. Thomas Christopher from the League Winners. Now, you talked about recruiting's at an all-time high. Currently, you guys rank 31st nationally with 5 4-star recruits. That's also a school high. How are you leveraging the school's ACC membership and Texas location to attract top talent? And what's your vision for building the roster going forward?
Great question. I mean, I think it's a great, already 1 year in, a great partnership with us in the ACC. You know, we had hoped that would happen. We're thankful for Commissioner Phillips and the members for allowing us to join the league. We felt like we would give value to the league, and I think we did last year by making the college football playoff. But also the league has helped us. You know, we're in the city of Dallas. It's arguably the best country in America. I mean, the best city in America. It could be considered a country at times. But it's the best city in America, but it deserves a big-time college football team. And Dallas loves winners, and our guys have given the city that over the past couple years, and the city has embraced that. And arguably year in, year out, the best high school talent comes out of the Metroplex, okay? And so for us to be positioned there as the only school within 30 miles of downtown Dallas is a huge advantage for us. And a lot of those kids, you know, some of them are sitting right up here. Kevin and Isaiah Wacobia could speak to that. They're from the city. Kids want to stay and play in Dallas. They want to stay and play in Texas. We just had to give them the reason because they want to play on the biggest stage. They want to play in that championship game against the Clemson. They want to play in the college football playoff. So being in the ACC has allowed us to do that and put our program back on the national stage where we feel like we belong. And so that has been huge in that plus winning has been huge in our recruiting efforts. And look, we're going to continue to recruit Dallas and the state of Texas at a high level. The ACC allows us to do that more like we want to. To your point of this recruiting class and the last recruiting class, that's our formula for sustained success. Because in Texas, the Texas high school football players are the best. They're the best coached. They're the best talented. All 4 of the players that we brought here to represent SMU are great college football players that played high school football in Texas. And that's going to continue to be our formula.
Coach, thank you. You can switch spots with Kevin Jennings, and we'll
All right.
spend a few minutes with our quarterback. Folks in the room, if you would, please identify yourselves and the agency that you are with, and we'll get to as many as we can in the short amount of time we have with our student athletes. Let's take it to this gentleman on the right side, Kevin, 3rd row, and there we go.
Got you.
Thank you.
All right, Kenton Gibbs, Locked On ACC. Kevin, you went from a backup, somewhat unheralded, to now leading a team to a ACC championship game appearance, college football playoff, and now you're a Heisman dark horse. How do you stay level-headed, humble, and hungry throughout that type of meteoric rise?
You know, just remember where I came from. At one point, I was known as a nobody, just out there playing, and then now I'm working my way up, and you know, it's honestly a blessing. And you know, I just try to stay level-headed. Just you know, have my teammates check me. You know, if I ever get too cocky or whatever, have my family check me and all that stuff. So I just try to stay level-headed all the time.
Kevin, we're going to go left side, gentleman in the blue shirt, 4th row.
Got you.
Kevin, you obviously had a fantastic season last year, but struggled against Penn State on the road in the CFP. What did you take away about handling that hostile environment, and how will you put that into action when y'all go to Clemson this season?
Yeah, you know, I took a lot from that game. You know, I think, like I tell myself all the time, honestly, needed that game. I needed, you know, a bad game like that to bounce back and, you know, come back and remind myself that, you know, I can play at this level and I can do all things I'm capable of doing. So just taking that game and going into the Clemson game, you know, I think it's going to be kind of the same environment, and I'm just looking forward to heading to Clemson.
Kevin, right side towards the back to the right of the cameraman.
Dean Rolski on theponyexpress.com. In a college football landscape that is constantly changing, you come back to SMU with a coaching staff that remains exactly the same.
Right.
How much did that help you in this offseason and will help you pick up where you left off?
Right. Yeah, it definitely helped me a lot, just coming in the building, knowing I got the same coaches, same offense, just things like that, not me having to think too much of, I got to remember this, I got to learn this, and all that type of stuff. So it's really a big help just having the great coaching staff around me. They push me each and every day to get better, and, just trying to uplift that task.
Kevin, left side, hard towards the wall, young lady in the red dress.
Katrina Sackins, Sports and Culture Media. Kevin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nick Saban called you one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country last season. You guys made it to the ACC championship within the first year of y'all's entrance into the conference. Many people would consider that a successful season. Mm-hmm. What would you consider a successful season for this upcoming season?
Yeah, big shout outs to Nick Saban for mentioning that. But I think we had a really good season last year. I mean, it didn't end how we wanted it to end, but I think this upcoming year, I think our end goal is, to win the Natty, win it all, win the conference championship, and that'll be a good season for me, I think.
Kevin, right side, fifth row.
Brandon Pockeris of the League Winners. You had a very, very successful 2024 season. You were able to do a little bit of everything in the air, on the ground. But heading into the 2025 season, what have you been the most focused on improving in your overall game as a leader, et cetera? And what are you most excited to showcase in this upcoming season?
Yeah, the things I've been working on, just working on the little things, taking that very seriously. Being a better leader, being a more vocal leader at that, and also just decision making. It kind of cost me a little bit last year, but I think heading to this year, I think I'm getting way better at decision making and making the right reads and all of that. And I'm just looking forward to see my team play this year. Honestly, that's what I'm more excited about.
Kevin, left side towards the door, almost in the back.
Hey, Kevin. Deshaun Miner, College Football Nation. I wanted to know, can you point towards moments throughout this offseason where you and your teammates, you and your coach got closer and you felt it? Like, for the media, we don't get a chance to see all the time those moments. Right. But can you point to those moments to us so we can have some tidbits?
Yeah, I think it's an everyday thing, honestly, just sharing a locker room with those guys, lifting together, running together and all that. I think it just builds, courage for our team. Everybody's going through the same struggle on the field. We're conditioning days, we're out there, dying, killing us and all of that. And we're just able to lean on each other for help and all of that. And I think that's able to make our brotherhood so tight. And, yeah.
Kevin, we're going to get your last question. We're going to move the microphone to the left of the camera stand, almost towards the back.
Got you.
Hustling over.
Graham Dietz, Boston College, Eagles on Sports Illustrated. How's it going, Kevin?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. One of your big starts, one of your first times starting back 2 years ago in the Fenway Bowl, you played Boston College, and
right.
Since then have played them another time, and you're going to go back up to Boston to visit BC this year. Just tell me about kind of your take on the initial series history with BC, and what it was like visiting Boston for the first time then.
Yeah, I got asked that question earlier about the rivalry of Boston College and SMU. I think it's a really good rivalry that's coming along in the ACC. So, I'm looking forward to head up there to Boston and play Boston College. It's a really good football team. But the first initial thought going up there to Boston, weather was kind of crazy. It was pretty cold, wet, and all of that. But it was. They're a really, really good team. So I'm excited to head back up there and get that rivalry started.
Kevin, thank you. You can switch places with Isaiah. Folks, once again, we'll spend a couple of minutes with each student athlete. Please identify yourselves, the agency that you're with, and who would like the first question for Isaiah. We'll get it here in the front row, just to your right.
Hi, Isaiah. Ralph Amsden, Unafraid Show with George Reister. This season, you came back, you're leading the defensive backfield that's going to face 4,000-yard passer in Josh Hoover. Sawyer Robertson's getting a bunch of preseason love. Syracuse had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards. They're probably going to be winging it. You got Cade Klubnik. What was it? What went into you coming back and just sort of your mindset of this is a bunch of special quarterbacks that we're going to be facing this year, and you're kind of in charge of that unit?
Obviously, we had a great year as a team this last year, and I had a good season. What led me to come back is, like you said, is the challenges that we can face, how much better that I know we can get as a team, that I know I can get as a player. So hearing all those great quarterbacks you named who are highly recognized, I'm just ready to embrace that challenge and go at them, and I'm excited, man, for sure.
Isaiah, right side, third row.
Kenton Gibbs, Locked On ACC. Isaiah, I am a huge fan of your film. You were one of a handful of players last year in the nation that finished with 100 tackles and 3 or more interceptions. You talk about improving. How do you improve your game after coming off a season like that where you showed so much versatility to do almost everything you could ask of a safety / linebacker / rover / whatever position you would call yourself?
First off, I appreciate the high praise, man. I mean a lot. Thank you. I think the biggest thing I've been trying to focus on this offseason is just film study and being able to apply that to the game on the field. I think the faster you can play, especially on defense, how the ability you can have to not have to think so much, to be able to just react, be able to just go out there and play free. I think that comes from film study and just going out there and just playing and having fun with the game. So I think me being able to just apply that and just be able to play fast is the biggest thing I'll focus on this offseason.
Left side, Isaiah, right there, back in the front row, please.
Dean Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. You spoke on all the success that you had last season as a team. How does this team excel and get better, in your opinion, through the spring, into the summer, and heading into the fall? What have you seen as those little elements that maybe people will not see that are going to push SMU even farther?
I think us focusing on keeping the main thing. We show up every single day, putting in work. We're ready to go 110%. We compete in everything we do, whether that be conditioning or speed work or the weight room. We make sure that we compete. Healthy competition, I think, is extremely important. And I think what makes us really different is our brotherhood. I think with college football today, obviously, every year it's almost a new team with all the new transfers. But I think Coach Lashlee does a great job just focusing on us. Having really that brotherhood, just making sure we gel both on and off the field. We're doing stuff like paintball or different things like that just to make sure we continue to stay together and build that chemistry, because we know that's what's going to take us far more than anything else, that brotherhood.
Can I ask how you did at paintball?
Man, don't ask. You can ask them, though.
Isaiah, right side, fifth row, towards the hard right, towards the curtain.
Hey, Thomas Christopher from the League Winners. Earlier this year, there was a lot of discussion between Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and Asante Samuel regarding the T-step technique as opposed to the bicycle technique on closeouts. As a defensive back, do you have any preference on that, or what you were taught, or what you prefer?
Me personally, I'm a T-step guy. I think that helps me get out of my break. I think it served me pretty well, so I'm going to keep doing that.
Isaiah, thank you. You can switch spots with Logan, and we'll spend a few minutes with an O-lineman. Again, please identify yourselves and the agency that you're with, and we'll get through as much as we can with Logan. So Logan, right side, third row, the gentleman who's asked 1 or 2 questions, but will re-identify himself.
Kenton Gibbs with Locked On ACC. Logan, when people talk about the move up in any type of, going from D2 to D1 or Power 4 or Group of 5 to Power 4, people talk about the trenches being the difference and normally expecting that to be the weak part that lagged behind. But instead, you all turned out to be a strength of the team, ushering in an 1,000-yard rusher, being the 3rd least sacked team in the conference, and you personally finishing as an all-ACC guy. What does that say about your preparation, who you are as a player, and the offensive line unit as a whole?
I think we had a chip on our shoulder going into it. A lot of us last year were bounce-back guys coming from Power 4 teams, transferring into the AAC and then eventually the ACC. So getting that opportunity to go in and show that we could do it on an elite level together and kind of push the guys behind us is something I was very thankful for.
Logan, left side of the room, way in the back towards the wall.
Good morning, Logan.
Good morning.
I want to know what the current state of the offensive line room is heading into 2025, part 1. And then how has your relationship grown with Coach Lashlee since when you got here?
So we got a couple transfers along with a lot of guys that have played a bunch of football. We do a good job outside of football, building that culture, hanging out, all that kind of stuff. I think we're going to have a great unit moving forward. And Coach Lashlee, I'm just thankful that he gave me the opportunity to be at SMU. I kind of got ran out of my last school, and coming here and being the player that I am now here at Media Day is just unfathomable. So I'm really thankful for that.
Logan, left side, first row.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. You spoke about your appreciation for Coach Lashlee giving you new life in college football. Just to reflect on that a little bit deeper, what you learned from the adversity that you had and why SMU truly was the reimagining and the evolution of you as a player.
So I was a highly recruited kid out of high school. Got a lot of offers and eventually went to Texas. And I didn't get the opportunity to show what I thought I had at that level as a player. And I'm just so thankful that this staff gave me the opportunity to come in, play in my fourth year, but come in, put some film together, and put some good film out there.
Logan, go right side. Follow the center aisle up. Young lady to the right.
Kaz Clayton with New Era. I want to know, when you're going against elite ACC defensive line, what is your mindset?
So I've been in college a long time, and I've gone against a lot of guys. This is about to be my 6th year. So I've gone against a lot of guys at Texas, a lot of guys at SMU that are in the pros, where I got that level in practice where I was going against the best guy in the country. And in the ACC, I'm going against that same kind of talent, and I'm just thankful every single day in practice I get that same kind of look.
Go right side. Logan, to our right, hard right.
Thomas Christopher from the League Winners. Now, I know you started your collegiate career in the Big 12, but you also played in the American last year with SMU. Talking to a lot of coaches and players, they say that the difference between the G5 and the P4 level is within the trenches. Do you believe that to be true based on your experience?
So I think the talent level is at the same point, level to level. It's the size. I wasn't going against 6'5", 330 guys when I was in the AAC. And you kind of see that reflect as you go on.
Logan, last question from the podium. You've just mentioned the number of years you've been in the game and your age. Do they call you Grandpa in the locker room? What's your role?
Yeah, so my nickname's Professor. So I got three degrees. In 3 years, I got my corporate communication degree at Texas. I got my master's in business management and my master's in sports management. So I got a little bit of a degree wall going.
So what do you want to be when you grow up?
Still figuring that out, but I want to be a football player first, and then from there, we'll figure it out.
Any other questions for Logan? We'll have one more to our left. Your last one.
Rick Allen, the CW. First of all, whose responsibility is it to get Isaiah cowboy boots? That coach is going to take that. Secondly, as a graduate, obviously congratulations on everything you've done
Appreciate
academically. How personal do you as an offensive line take it to protect Kevin each play? I know that sacks are something that offensive linemen hate. Is that something personal that your offensive line worries about to make sure to protect him?
Yeah, so, I mean, we love Kevin. Kevin's one of my best friends, and I would hate to see anything happen to Kevin. Kevin can stand back there for 12 seconds and make 8 guys miss if he wants to, but being there and protecting him is something that I take personally.
Gotcha. Logan, thank you. SMU, good luck this year.
Thank you, sir.
Folks, Stanford is due up in the room at 1 o'clock, and we will see you then.